Welcome, Prof. Sudhakar, sir.
Yeah, Rajesh, I came. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, sir. I just renamed.
Sir, Ramana sir is here.
Welcome, sir. Thanks for joining.
Sir, Sudhakar sir, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Ramana sir is here. Ramana sir is here.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
All right. Okay. So before we start actually today's first day program, so we have our first speaker, Professor Sudhakar sir, and Professor Sudhakar sir, he has done his bachelor's in zoology, master's in microbiology, and done his PhD from Madurai Kamaraj University in virology. And he has been to USA for 10 years. He worked in different organizations in the USA, and he worked as a virologist. And he has done a first earthworm genome, earthworm whole genome for the first time in the world. And his laboratory is working on regeneration biology using earthworm as a model. And you can go to Manonmaniam Sundaranar University, Biology Department. You can find his profile. And he has been given talk to many programs, not only through our program, even he has been to in-person program all over India, and he delivered very fantastic talk. You will listen now. So he's a very good speaker, and he's a very student-friendly speaker, and he'll make aware of everybody what is the need of PhD and how to do PhD, and how to publish papers. So he'll be discussing in his talk itself. We will understand how India need to transform how the students to be do their research. And research group actually he published quality journals more than 50 papers in quality journals genomics is more than 19 factors. And his research scholars, those who have done his PhD from his research group are in abroad, in America, mostly in America, actually, I could say. And I would like to welcome Sudhakar sir. Sir, can you start, sir?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, sir. And for more details, you can go to Manonmaniam Sundaranar University, Manonmaniam Sundaranar University, Tirunelveli. Go to Biotechnology Department, find Professor Sudhakar profile in there. You will get more details about him. Over to Sudhakar, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon, one and all. I'm so happy to join with Dr. Ramanathan from Singapore, and also Dr. Rajesh in this conference. Here, I have some tips for research scholars. So let's see, so carefully just follow it. If you have any discussion, stop me, and then we can discuss and go. It's I don't think it's like a uninterpreted lecture. Just it's a it can be a discussion also. If you have any doubt at any point, please stop me. Then we can discuss. So the picture shows in the screen. The picture shows some of the beautiful waterfalls in and around us. Okay, so we are in Tirunelveli. So Tirunelveli is very close to Western Ghats. So many waterfall and sites, very good sites, natural beauty is all around us. Okay, next slide, please. Yeah, these are the place called Sadragiri. That's close to Sivasubramanian actually. Very nice place. Next. So this is Alvarkurchi, very close, just 35 kilometers from us. Next. Yeah, next. Yes. Now I'm going to start. Mostly during weekend, I used to spend my time in Western Ghats area. So very, nicely we can enjoy their life. Also, weekdays, we are really busy with, scholars and students for the development of, knowledge, for the development of knowledge and exploration of a biological system. Next slide, please. Yes, see here, whatever the institution in the world, it may be a college or it may be university. Just I am taking as an example, I'm taking Stanford University. It was started on 1970 and it's about 1996. It's close to like 25 years. The university made around 5,000 crore rupee. The university made 5,000 crore rupee by patents, and also royalties, all those, area they got money.
நான் அங்க இருக்கும்போது காசு அனுப்ப மாட்டேன் நாங்க அது ஒண்ணுதான் சொல்லிவிட்டாரு.
Please all, please mute your mic. Crosstalk is there. Please mute your mic. Okay, if you have any questions, stop me. Don't talk yourself.
So who are disturbing, it's going to disturb everyone, even the speaker. He cannot deliver his talk properly. Okay, if you don't want to attend, please leave the meeting. Okay, and get the certificate, but don't disturb the speaker as well as other participants.
Yeah.
Make a note, because you are being at your home, make your your mic muted. Okay.
Yep. Can you get the slide? Yes. So the point here is our universities and colleges, we are getting revenue by admission fee and other fees. Mostly we are collecting money from students, but developed countries, they are collecting money from ideas and products. So that's a difference. So we have to understand the universities and colleges, we have to focus on innovation, patents, and royalties. That's the area we can gain a lot of revenue, and it's really good for colleges and universities and also for nation. Next slide, please. Rajesh, next slide. Yes. So the point here is, real power is not on size of a country, also wealth of country, also national resource, natural resources, also not a point here. Even the population is not power, but the technology we have is the power. Okay, so we have to focus. The technology, is not, usually the technologies are developed in universities and institutions, research institutions. So we have to focus on that. Only, generating students is not the thing. Generating graduates is not a point, but, we have to generate a lot of products and how to sell the products around the world. That's an area we really require for the development of, nation. Next slide. Next slide. So see here, the different, you have to understand the difference between school, college, and universities. Schools, students are receiving books. They have to go through the books, question will be raised, and they have to answer. That's a school pattern. Colleges, slightly different. Okay, prescribed books will be given. Syllabus will be given. To complete one paper, they have to read many books. For example, biochemistry. If your student wants to study, they have to study many books, not one or two. Okay, so slightly different schools and colleges. Universities and colleges, there are some difference. Okay, colleges teaches more than 80% of time professors are teaching students. But universities, 20% time professors are spending for teaching, but 80% the time is for research. So colleges more teaching, researchers, in universities more research. But in developed countries like UK, US, and other developed nations, situation is very different. They convert the colleges also into the standard of university. So even colleges in developed countries, they are doing a lot of research. And the point here is they already knew the importance of innovation. So simply they engage the colleges also for development of innovations. Next slide, please. Yes. So you have to understand a PhD scholar, a course, the course, the PhD course is to explore the resources and problem. Okay. And otherwise, finding a way for utilizing natural resources and finding a way to solve a problem. Okay. And in this area, we have to produce innovative concepts, ideas, and products. That should be the aim of a research. That should be aim of a scholar. Okay. And simply, you should not try, to meet the requirement to get the PhD. So, yeah, Rajesh, can you mute them? So that's important. So it's a very good time you are having, around 3 years of time. So nicely we can focus on one area and we have to solve the problem or finding a way to explore a resource. That should be the aim for a PhD thesis. Okay, next slide, please. See here, yeah, one slide back. One slide back. Rajesh, one slide back. One slide back. Go back, please. Rajesh, one slide back. Hey, go back, Rajesh. Rajesh, go back. Rajesh, you have to, the PowerPoint is with you. You have to focus. Rajesh, go back. Rajesh, can you hear me? Go back. I couldn't. Rajesh.
It is moving forward, I think. So you have to go with the back direction.
Yeah, Rajesh, go back with that Indian map. I want that slide. See? Ramanathan sir.
Sir, now I can't do because it is controlled by Dr. Rajesh. Yeah, he has to use the backward. Or you can stop slide share, then start again.
Rajesh, I want the slide with the Indian map. Rajesh.
Yeah, I think it is not possible to go back. Maybe he can stop slide share, then start again.
He's not responding. He's not responding.
No, but the slides are
Rajesh. See? Ramadan sir, can you call him?
Yes, I will call.
Sir, is it okay? Sir?
Rajesh.
Is it okay?
No, go to the slide with the Indian map. Don't automate it. Manually, how to change by slide. Go back. Yes. Yes, this is a slide. Yes. See here, this is our Indian map. And here, a lot of area we can explore. For example, in Western Ghats area, so many organisms are unknown. So many animals are unknown. We can try to explore it. We have a very vast, the coastal area. We can try to explore the resources there. Also, if you see, for archaeological studies and language studies, Tamilnadu is best. And, we have a lot of resource from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. We have a lot of resource for, language studies, archaeological studies. And of course, we have a lot of water resource and, water pollution and water conservation, all those area, really nice, very needy area we can focus on. And statistical, department and mathematics, they can go for statistics of human health and, other advanced astronomy area, and we can work on theoretical atomic science, theoretical physics, very nice area to explore. And also the commerce area, the commerce and other, department, they can focus on poverty eradication and also microeconomy to improve the standard of poor. A lot can be done in India. Okay. So if you do very unique and dedicated work, you will be appreciated. Okay. Next slide, please. One of the point I have to say that from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, we have a lot of fossil deposits. But in India, we don't have much, researcher to explore the, fossil resources of India. India is the best place for the fossil studies, but no proper, no adequate number of scientists on this area. The students, young minds, you can focus on the area, very in the great future are there. Next slide, please.
I will add something in this. Actually, somebody, sir, actually, there are researchers from engineering as well.
Yeah, next slide, please, Rajesh.
Sir, actually, I would like add something. Actually, there are research scholars from engineering background as well. So how engineering people can involve in this kind of research, sir?
Okay. Next slide, please. The second strategy, the first strategy, you have to understand your local area. Accordingly, you can select your area of research. That's what, we need. So strategy first, understand your area. Accordingly, you can select your research theme. The second one, the research theme should be unique. No need to follow already, published area. No need to follow already, established area. Just to find innovative area, then your future will be nice. Your research should be unique. Okay, in that case, your success rate will be more. Okay, next slide, please. So, one of the example I want to show here. This is one of the idea I used to get the fund for research. So here is the worm, earthworm. So, there are 3 arrows I have shown on the worm. The last arrow, at that point, if you cut the worm, the small piece, the head area survives, but the tail area, the tail piece is dying. So the question is, why the head is surviving and regenerate? Why the tail is dying? That we want to understand the differences. So, we got fund, and also we established the laboratory and lot of work for last 15 years we are working on. So this is a piece of work, a very innovative and a unique area, so we started. Now my laboratory is really successful. Next slide, please. And other strategy, third strategy, you have to understand your strength. Some of you are really good in reading, some of you are really good in writing, like some of you are having very good technical skill. You have to find your skill accordingly, select your work. If you're really good in certain area, try to use your skill for your research, then it will be really nice. Okay, next slide. So this slide is much important. Try to understand it. Okay, whatever the work, your research theme may be anything, but here the point is, the initial idea may be from observation. You may be a great observer. You can observe the nature or whatever the thing. You first important is observation, then reading. Okay, observation and reading, should be connected with imagination. If you do that, what will happen? You'll get idea. Okay, you'll get idea. So observation and reading, at that time you can get a lot of idea. And if you get any idea, directly you can't jump. Idea you have to verify whether the idea is new or not. Okay, so go back to literature again. Read, understand whether idea is new or not. Because a lot of people already lived on the planet. So many people are already, they live. So some of them may have the similar idea. So you got to check the literature, whether your idea is new or not. So if on verification, if you find your idea is new, then you can start your work. Whatever the work, maybe the MPhil work, or maybe the PhD work, maybe the MSc dissertation work, whatever the work, first you have to check whether your idea is new. If yes, then it's worth to start the work. Otherwise all the effort will be waste. Okay, so verify whether your idea is new or not. If it is new, then work, and then there's a great chance to find something novel. Okay, next slide, please. See here, during PhD, what can you do? Point one is innovation. Innovation maybe in the form of research article. If it is really something unique, you can publish it. It's a research article. Okay. Otherwise, if it is a commercial value, if you are finding as a commercial value, then you can go for patents. And patents, if you have, then you can sell the patent and can gain money. Otherwise, you can start your own company, spin off. You can start your own company, startup you can go for. There are 3 chances on innovation. So one is publication, second one is patents, then the last one is starting your own company. And the second category is the generation of intellectual properties. It's called secondary research, review writing, book writing, analysis of already published data, and exploration of other resources based on available literature. So all those things is just an intellectual property you are generating. Okay, by writing review paper, writing book, and analysis, and so on. So these categories are called as secondary research. The first one, innovation, the research article, patents, and spin-off are primary research. Okay. The second point is secondary research. And third, very important, the above two, okay, should be should be used to solve local problem. If you do that, then that will be really great. Next slide, please. So this is strategy 6. If there is a hostel in your campus, please stay in the hostel. Okay, because if you travel every day for long distance, you will be tired. You can't move further. A lot of time will be wasted. So the first, stay in the campus. Be early in the lab. Okay, also go back a little late to hostel. Okay, most of the time you have to spend valuably, effectively, meaningfully in the lab. Okay, so that's a thing. When I was doing PhD, we were in the hostel. Okay, so in morning 6 o'clock we used to go to lab, 6 to 9, one shift. Then 9 we come back, and after breakfast 10 o'clock we'll be in the lab again, and 10 to 1 in the lab. Then for lunch 1 hour break, 2 to 5:30 is a third shift, and then we'll come back and play some time with friends like badminton or something, or walking or something. Then 7:30 we'll go to lab again until 7:30 to like 10 or 11 or 12. Sometime we'll spend the time in the lab. Okay, that's what our life, at the time of PhD. So during that time, lot can be learned. So many scholars, around 150 scholars were there in the hostel. Okay, so chatting and discussing on different science matter, that's a really great opportunity for us to enhance the capacity. Okay, so you have to spend time in the hostel. That's a very important point for the researcher. Yeah, next slide, please. Yes, and here most important thing is the 7th strategy. Whatever the instrument you have in the lab, try to understand it. Okay, understand the basic instruments, all the instruments. Try to understand how to use it. What should not do, what should do. All those things on about the instrument. You have to know. Okay, very very important thing. Also chemicals. Learn everything. Function of each chemicals. Can we touch it or not? And how to store it, how to prepare it, how to store it, how to use it. All the chemicals you have to understand. Also computers, you have to know different applications connected with the research. Not all is very much in skill. These are the really needy skill for a better researcher. Okay, next slide, please. Yes. So in the lab, whatever the lab, if it is a good lab, the lab should have different techniques. Okay, for biologists, so many techniques. Whatever the physics, chemistry, so many techniques are there. If a laboratory is really good, the laboratory should have different techniques. So seniors, juniors, and so many scholars are there in the laboratory. A professor can have 8 scholars. Associate professors, 6 scholars they can have. Assistant professors, like 4 scholars they can have in our university. So a department may have at least 6 to like 20 different scholars. So try to learn techniques from each other. Then your capacity will be strong, and you can be more productive. Learning techniques is much important, and read about different techniques, understand it, and increase your capacity. Next slide, please. And this is the 9th strategy. Okay, here use the time effectively. Weekends, holidays, love, friends, cinema, relatives, function, festivals. You have to have strong control. Where to go, where should not go. Just for like a couple of years, if you focus on the research,
Sir, sir,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Like, no, you just compare this how, like, you have like experience at America, right?
Rajesh is coming. Okay.
No. So I want to say, like, you have experience in America. You say how Americans, like, they spend their like weekends, how they are doing research. So
It's
these
coming,
people also will understand. They will think like, we are like forcing them to like, avoid.
Rajesh,
Yeah.
yeah, you have 2 days talk. Just talk there, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Just talk whatever you want. You have time. You can do it. Yes. See here. So control yourself. Focus. Focus on whatever the area. The research time. Focus on. And if you sacrifice your time, then chances are there for becoming a very great person, valuable person in the world. Okay. Also, you have a periodically, daily or weekly or monthly, you have to report your finding to your PI. Your guide. You may be busy with the different tasks. You have to report them. What did you find? Weekly, okay, or daily or monthly. Okay, that's very much important. If you didn't do that, then a problem may come later. Okay, so effectively, you have to be active and connected with nicely with the gate. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, here is a strategy 10. Okay, very beginning. If you are a student, very beginning, if you are alone and you want to start a research in a laboratory, you may be little, it may be little difficult. So very beginning, you can join with the other student. You can join with the other student, work jointly, okay, and help each other. Then you can, survival will be better, and you can be. It will be really comfortable. So two newcomer can jointly work for some time to learn the different techniques and all. Then all will be comfortable. Instruments, chemicals, protocols, all will be comfortable for you. Then really you can be stronger in that area. Okay. So the point here is collaborate with each other, and try to ease your problem. Okay, next slide, please. Also, if you want to really a successful researcher, your writing skill is important. Okay, here, write something in Facebook or whatever in WhatsApp. You can have a group, nothing wrong. Have a good researcher in a Facebook, and you can be with them. It's nothing wrong. You can write your own feelings. Your own idea. You can write. Don't just forward things. Just write, and slowly you can improve your writing skills. Okay, short writing is really helpful for you to improve the writing skill. So every day, at least a couple of sentences you have to write and should communicate with somebody. Then your standard of writing skill will be better. Okay, that's really needy when you write your manuscript and all. The skill you need it. Okay, next slide. See here, here I want to introduce a person. It's called Pandi Perumal. He's a local Tirunelveli person. He's a MSc botany. Okay, he's a master degree holder, completed master degree in botany. He published so many papers. Citation for his publication is now more than 12,000. The slide is little old. Now his citation index is around 12,000. He's one among the strong person in publication and writing articles. No, not even several professors are not in the quality of Pandi Perumal in the aspect of publications. Okay, so I'm showing this because if you are really interested, you can shine in the area of research. Okay, next slide, please. Also here, when you do research, you'll get a lot of data. Okay, and the data, you have to discuss your data, you have to criticize yourself. Then only the quality will be more. I can tell you here an example. A person where, when I was in US, this is a real incident, so I want to show. A person received a CDNA library, want to get a clone from that library. He tried for the more than 6 months to 1 year. He tried. He failed to get the clone. Later, the company sent him a mail. We sent a wrong clone, CDNA library. Actually, the man wanted the human CDNA library of organ, but the company, wrongly they sent mouse library. So it's like very different, situation. He can't get it. He may be strong technically. He is maybe really strong, but the resource is wrong resource. Then even if you spend time for hundreds of years, no way he can't get it. So here the point is, we have to criticize, why we couldn't get it. Even if the data is fruitful, like a promising and a positive data, still you have to criticize your data, and then it's a way. Then it will be helpful for you to get the quality in your research. Okay. Also, one more example I want to show here. A professor from Japan wanted to purify a protein. He tried more than 5 years. He couldn't get it. Finally, he came to know that his interested protein is a protease. The protease, is self-dying protein. It cleaves its own molecule. Okay, the protease, right? So the protease cleaves its own molecule. So that what happened? He couldn't purify the protein for many years. Okay, later he understood it. So different approach he followed. Then finally he purified it. Okay, next slide, please. Also, reproducibility is the important point here. Whatever the data you generate, the data should be reproducible. Whether you do one more time, you should get the data. Other person from other country, if he do the same, experiment, he should get the data. So the reproducibility is important. For example, a scientific finding. A scientific finding, maybe, you can assume like DNA replication. DNA replication, the whole scenario was not found out by one person. One person found out DNA polymerase, another person found out primase, another person find out helicase, another person find out, like RPA, one more person find out like PCNA. Likewise, like more than 20 different people, they not 20 different people, 20 different groups they worked on, and different finding came all together. If you combine all together, then the DNA replication can be explained. So here the point is, if your data is reproducible, then you will be appreciated. You will be recognized. Okay. Otherwise, simply if you publish some data, the data is not reproducible, it's not valuable, you will not be appreciated. Okay. So it's that's a clear point you have to understand. Simply a publication won't help you. If your data is reproducible, then that will help you. Okay. Next slide, please. Also, when you do an experiment, okay, you get some data. Okay. Observing the data, you have to understand what you have to do next. You should have the ability. Based on the data, you have to have the skill to design the next experiment. Okay. So for example, here, you know, for example, you have two different cell. One is one plate of cell is a control. Another plate of cell, treated with some chemical. So the protein in a control is more. The protein after treatment of the drug is the protein expression goes down. Okay, that's the data you observed. Now, what will be the next experiment? Go to the next slide. The next experiment, you have to check whether the cells are dying or, in some other mode, the protein expression is controlled. You have to verify. You have to check cell cycle checkpoints, and you have to check cell death, and you have to go all in vivo experiments and toxicology experiments. You can go one by one, and you can find out what's the reason. So the point here is, based on the available data, you should have the ability to design the next experiment. That skill is much important. Then only after completing your PhD, you can be an independent scientist. Okay, next slide, please. For example, you developed an antibody. The antibody is for a hypothetical protein. Hypothetical protein means the protein, the function is not known. ORF is known, but the protein function is not known. So what can you do the next? You can understand where the protein is being expressed, whether the protein is expressed in the skin or liver, on the eye, or in some other organ. You can try to find out it. If you do that, then in a cell, where is the protein? Is it in the membrane or in the nucleus? Where is the protein? You can try to find out. The third, you can try to find out, what's the function of the protein. So likewise, if you get one data, accordingly, you should have the talent to set the next experiment. Okay. Yeah. Next slide, please. See here, killer experiment is frequently in a bigger labs. They're using the term killer experiment. What is killer experiment? Assume you have a drug. The drug is prolonging aging. If you swallow the drug, you think you can live a little bit longer. That's a drug you have in your hand. How to confirm it? How to check its function, whether the drug is prolonging lifespan? How to check it? If you choose mouse, you have to wait for 2 to 4 years to complete one experiment. If you choose any other animal like human, you have to wait for 70 years or like 80 years or 100 years. But if you choose like mayfly, 24 hours, one mayfly life. So like couple of days, you can understand whether your hypothesis is wrong or not. Within a couple of days, you can understand. Or like other like small insects, like 3 to 7 days they are living. So if you choose those kind of animals, within like a month of time, you can understand whether chemical is working or not. Okay. So like honeybee, they live around 4 weeks a month. So you use honeybee and use a chemical, and whether the honeybee can live beyond a month, you can check it. So likewise, you have to think to confirm whether your idea is correct or not. You are using a correct experiment. If the chemical is working fine with those animals, then you can try to use the chemical in other animals like vertebrates. You can try to do that. That will take longer time. Okay, so killer experiment is the experiment to check whether your idea is right or wrong without spending much time. Okay, in a shorter frame of time, you can check whether hypothesis is right or wrong. That's a killer experiment. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, here, the researcher should publish papers. A research scholar should publish paper. So it's a original research article you can publish, case studies you can publish, technical note you can publish. All three are called primary research article. Secondary research article, I already told you, reviews, special articles, letter to editor, commentaries, pictorial essay, and theoretical article and analysis and critics. Still you can publish. Those are secondary, research articles, whatever it may be, but periodically you have to publish. So based on my experience, I wanted to say you here, at least before PhD, 3 to 4 papers in a SCI journal you should publish. We have 3 to 4 papers in a SCI journal, then a great job, a nice job you can get somewhere in the world. Not only in India, in some other developed countries, you can find a job. So your life will be nice. Okay, next slide. So here I want to introduce like 4 persons. Okay, though the 4 are the best in writing, you can learn something from them. The first one is Setpi Bama. He's from Tirunelveli. He has the education up to 4th standard. He didn't complete the primary school. He wrote 6 books. Another one is Cho Dharman. He's also primary school standard person, but now he received Sahitya Akademi award for a couple of years ago. So very fantastic writers. Okay, another one is the Muttalangurchi Kamarasu. He's 55. He didn't complete +2. He went to school up to 11th standard. He didn't pass 12th. Now he wrote 55 books. His age is 54, but he already wrote 55 books. Okay, and already told about Pandi Perumal. He's not a PhD, but MSc person. He published more than 250 articles so far. Very successful, publishers, very successful writers. You have to learn from them. Next slide, please. So here, the techniques are tools and techniques. For the science students, tools and techniques are valuable. Okay, you have to understand more tools, but nicely you have to use them. Assume you have to cut a tomato. You need small knife. Nicely you can cut it. Don't use ask to cut the tomato or like potato. You need small knife is enough. So, correct equipment you have to use for the correct time. That's a point. I'm telling this because in my last 14 years experience in India, I could see many theses with irrelevant techniques and data. Professors and also students, they are much focused on technique, not focused on findings. Findings are important. Okay, to find out suitable, suitable finding, you have to use suitable techniques. Otherwise, the thesis will be really awkward, and paper publication is not possible. So that's an important point here. Okay, next slide. See here, this is a slide a scholar should understand. Assume you have a antimicrobial property of a plant. If you have that data, then a 0.5 impact, you can publish a paper. If the finding is new, in that case, 0.5 impact paper you can publish. If you expand the work a little bit more, in which part of the plant the active compound is more, if you expand the work a little bit more, maybe 1.5 impact factor you can publish. And if you put effort, to purify the compound from that plant, if you can purify, identification and purification, if they are joining together, then like 3 impact factor you can publish. We find out the property of compounds and storage condition, maybe like 4 impact. If you find structure of the chemical, the antibiotic like compounds, if you find out structure, with all of the other data, maybe 6 impact factor. If you find out mode of action, maybe 8. And if you find out side effect of the chemical and also mode of action and structure and all together, now it's maybe around 10. And if you can study the chemical like phase 1, phase 2, and if you prove that the chemical is really suitable for human application, then you can try for a journal with impact factor 20. So that's a thing, that's a scholar should understand. So the depth, determine your quality. Easy to publish with a superficial paper, but in-depth studies, very much important, and you can really go far. It's really you need to enhance, to show your potential and also enhance your survivable capacity. You need in-depth study. Okay. So one more thing I want to show here. Don't publish, in local journal, publish in SCI journal. Okay. There are 3 different journals. One is SCI journals, another one is Scopus journals, another one is local journal. Don't publish in local journal. Nobody will recognize you. And Scopus journal is okay, but my advice, go for SCI journal. Then you will be recognized by other scientists around the world. Okay. Next slide, please. So here, different journals, they have different impact factor. Current Science impact factor 1. Like Nature, like impact factor around 40 now. Okay. A person is having like 40 papers in Current Science. Another person is having 1 paper in Nature. Who is stronger person? Okay. Of course, the person with Nature paper is a stronger person, because the depth of study, the depth he has more, so he's stronger. He can lift around 40 kg at a time, but the Current Science paper 1 kg, he's lifting 40 times. See the difference. So higher quality, shows your strength. Try to publish in a good journal. Okay. For that, the depth of study is important, as I told previously. Okay. Next slide, please. See here, I want to show some examples. Here, a paper appeared in PNAS. PNAS is a journal with impact factor around 10. See, the paper proves that our facial expression is genetic. Okay, this finding was published on 2006. Okay, so they studied a blind family. Both parents are blind, and also child also the blind. They studied the facial expression of child, mother and father. They came to know that the child has same identical facial expression like father and mother. So the points suggest that even our facial expression is genetic. See here, not no much instrument is not involved here, just a camera. Okay, and also here a sweet information is there, a novel information is there. Okay, so that the paper was accepted in PNAS. And if you publish a paper in PNAS in our country, the government is giving more projects, up to 1 crore of rupee you can get, like several crore of rupee, you can get for your research. So, cute idea and exploration in are helpful to publish in a good journal. Next slide. See here, this is a Nature paper. Okay, very good paper published on 2005. They proved that crow has a skill to use tool. Okay, simply they designed a experiment. Okay, and they documented that crow took a stick to bring the eatable close by. Then the crow is eating the eatable. So they proved it. So the point here is not only mammals but also birds can use tools. So the idea here is textbook says only mammals can use tools, but the paper clearly shows not only mammals, but also birds can use tools. So the paper was accepted in 2005, on 2005 in journal Nature. So one Nature paper we have, your life is secure. Easy to get a job. You can travel different country. Your life will be very different. Okay. Here, the exploration and the spirit of science is required to accomplish something great. Okay. Next slide. One more thing. So far, like 3 slides, I told you to publish in a high-end journal. There is one more way, okay, to show your capacity. You can publish a paper in current science also, okay, and in like 5 years or 10 years time, if the paper is cited for 10,000 times or like 20,000 times, if the paper was cited, then you are a great person. Assume one person published a paper in Nature. The citation is like 6. Other person published a paper in current science. Okay, the citation is around 25,000. Now, who is a bigger person? Current science person is a bigger person, because more citation is elevates, more citation elevates your standard. You will be really a bigger person. Your capacity is more. So there are 2 ways to be stronger, to become a stronger person. One is publishing your article in a good journal. So in a day, you will be popular. But publish your finding in a current science like journal, but you have to wait. Your article is well received by the public, from other researcher, then you will be a big shot. So the point here is, don't worry whether the Nature or science or like current science. Okay, just to publish it. Okay, if your finding is very useful, then you will be celebrated. Okay, so finding and publications are the key here, not the journal. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yes. So another thing, a researcher, a scholar should have the teaching skill. Teaching skill, if you have, then you'll be more successful. How to teach? First to read. Okay, whatever the area you want to teach, first to read and understand. Okay, after understanding the points, the area, think about teaching strategy. How to teach it, you think, and make a plan. Prepare the material accordingly, like a PowerPoint slides. You can prepare accordingly, then teach. Simply, if you know an area, you can't teach perfectly. Teaching is very different. Teaching is almost equal to serving food items. Learning is almost like cooking food items. You can cook, but for delivering, to serve the food is a different art. So teaching is like delivering food item, and learning is almost like cooking. So please understand the difference. If you already know a point, don't think you can teach effectively. Make a strategy, plan it, then go to the classroom and teach. This ability is much required for a researcher, because your finding, you have some finding, and those finding, you want to have the capacity to explain about your finding to some other people, in some other board or in some other conferences, seminars. You should have teaching skill. Otherwise, you can't impress people. Okay, so the skill, teaching skill, is inevitable for a researcher. Next slide. Also, your teaching skill, the presentation skill, how to improve your presentation skill. Regular lab meeting. 1 week, every week you should have a lab meeting. That way you can improve your skill. any conference or seminar, if you have an opportunity, go and present your data. That's really important. Both oral and poster presentation are really important. You have to practice there. Okay, workshop demonstrator, conducting workshop, also much helpful. Okay, and presentation in your school and colleges. You are doing PhD, right? When you visit your local town, go to your college and go to your school, talk to students, explain your findings to students. That way, you can improve your teaching skill. Okay, and to your parents and friends, explain about your finding. Whether you can understand whether they can get your points. That's a good practice for teaching to improve the teaching skill. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, for example, you have an interview. You have an interview, or you have a presentation to get some grant. Okay, like for your SRF or for your RA program, you have a presentation. Assume that. Okay, now what you have to do? First, you have to prepare a PowerPoint. Okay, otherwise, if no PowerPoint, prepare how to talk. Like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever the time they are prescribing, follow it, and time, then prepare the presentation. Then after preparation, you have to go for rehearsal. Couple of times you have to go for rehearsal. Okay, then predict questions. When you do the rehearsal, you may have different thoughts. Okay, accordingly, you can find the answer for questions. Okay, then you can go and attend and present your stuff. Then there is a great opportunity. You can get a great score, and you can win the competition. Okay, when you're presenting a PPT slide, don't use animation or very heavy memory information. The total PPT file should be very simple and less, the volume wise, it should be less. Okay, the high capacity disk of PPT file sometimes will screw you. Okay, that is dangerous. So, low memory, images and information you can put in your slide. So it will be helpful for you. Okay, next slide. Also, previously we saw killer question, killer experiment. Now we are going to see killer questions. Okay, assume a person is having a solution. He's saying that the solution can dissolve all material. A person is presenting a data. He says he has a solution. It can all substance. So here there's a flaw. So what is that container he has? So his statement is may not be correct. Because the solution he is having in a container, the container substance, the solution couldn't dissolve it. So likewise, a killer question can be raised. Okay, here, please don't humiliate other researcher. Don't make a annoying situation on other researcher, but nicely, without hurting the person, you can raise a question. Okay, if you started criticizing people, or like if you touch their sentiment, then they will wait for their time. Don't create enmity, but nicely, with smiling face, without hurting feelings, try to address the question. Raise the question, killer question. That killer questions, helpful, much helpful to keep the person in a track. Okay, to bring the data to the high-end quality. Okay, so killer question, very valuable. Okay, if you can do it without hurting the people. Okay, right, next. So here, importance of finding. So I'm talking here about the Coca-Cola tin. I'm not talking about the fluid. I'm talking about the tin. That small opener is there. The opener designer is earning per day around 2 crore rupee. Because this is a very fantastic finding. Using this technology, all liquids like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, coconut water, and beer, and so many other pharmaceutically important liquids are packed. So on the world, around 2015 countries are there. Entire country, okay, around the world, all the countries are using this technology. So the person who designed the technology, is earning 2 crore rupee per day as a royalty. Here is the power of innovation and research. Also, one more picture is here. Is a straw. We can bend, still you can enjoy the fluid. It's a straw. Okay, the person who made such a straw, he made a lot of money. Okay, so likewise, if you can make valuable innovation, then your life will be meaningful, and also you will be really powerful. Okay, next slide, please. So, like 2007 in universities, at that time I joined in India, in Manonmaniam Sundaranar University, I joined. At that time, if I start a company, okay, the university won't allow. They said that it's not permitted. We can't start a company. A professor can start a company. Yes, a student, research scholar can't start a company inside universities. That's on 2007. But now, from 2017, 10 years later, government says, we have idea. You can start business. You can start your own company. The company can be operated within universities or colleges. That area is called as incubation, business incubation centers. So your business can be incubated in universities and colleges, and that can be developed further. That opportunity is there now in India. Okay. And now, if you are really capable and you have a good business idea, approach your college and or universities, try to incubate the idea there as a business, then you can develop yourself. Okay, next slide, please. Likewise, we saw so many strategies, around 27 strategies. You need a lot of potential, lot of skill you need. Okay, you need writing skills, speech, technical, and so on, creativity, so on you need. You may not have all the skill with you. Still is fine. Collaborate with the suitable person, and you can, equilibrium can be made. Okay, nicely, you can develop based on need. Collaborate with people, and you can win. You can mask. You can block your weakness. Still, you can, develop your career, and still you can find a good, good finding. You can make it. Okay. Next slide. Right. One more thing here you have to understand. Like CV, if you want to prepare a CV, 3 to 4 page CV is more than enough. Even if you are a Nobel laureate, 3 to 4 pages CV is enough. Longer CV sometimes irritate people. So make a short CV. Okay. And, list all your paper with the impact factor and your experiences nicely. That's enough. Next slide, please. So here I listed around 23 skills. We need those skills for a research scholar. For a research scholar, these skills are important. What are they? Technical skill, writing skill, presentation skill, also preparation of PPT skill, defending skill, pricing question skill, understanding of valuable, and teaching and learning skill to identify problem, browsing skill to distinguish right or wrong, Likewise, around 23 different skills are there. You need them. Try to accumulate as much as possible at the time of research. Definitely, you will be in a greater position later. Next slide, please. Yeah, thank you. So if you have any questions, I'm happy. I can discuss with you.
Okay, Arpita Rani Kamrai. Okay, thank you. Okay, for disturbing us. Okay, fine. Like no, so we always like no get disturbance. Though it's like like no. Okay, it's fine. Actually, like still like Professor like he was so patient and like he don't like kind of like even I don't like kind of like disturbance. Still actually like he has like given his talk in a wonderful way. So I really like appreciate like Professor Sudhakar because what he like shared with you, it's his experience. It's not about like it's not from a literature. You cannot find those kind of information from anywhere. Okay, what Professor like shared with you like what he is like experienced at abroad when he has been after like Madurai Kamara University is like University of Excellence. He was trained there. Okay, so you will not understand like what kind of like a situation it was there at that moment when he was doing his PhD, and he was like struggled. Those people from their experience. Okay, and after going abroad, okay, they are like sharing their experience. Okay, and if you don't understand, it's fine actually. If you don't mind, but and still like Arpita Rani Kamrai. Okay, okay, like there are like many others like disturbing. And yeah, so what I would like to add is like being in India, you might think, okay, so I'm in India, okay, so I'm getting a job.
Hey, Rajesh, ask them if they have any question or not.
Yeah. Are there any questions
Yeah.
with Professor Sudhakar? Yeah, please. Yeah.
Good evening, sir. My name is Aditi.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible.
A very good evening and thank. All right, sir. So, sir, thank you for a very wonderful information and presentation, sir. My question to you is, when you were explaining about the strategy 18, which said not techniques but the results and the findings. So I would like to know how are techniques and tools not very much compatible with the findings that we are supposed to find, which is more important factor that we should consider, the techniques that we are using, or we should have a focus on the findings that we are supposed to find on whatever topic we are working on.
So here you have to focus on your finding, not on technique. Okay, so for example, tell me your problem, then I can suggest you.
Sure, sir. So the problem is that if you have to study about a gut microbiota in a particular set of population, for example, the diabetic population, if I have, and I want to pursue one particular bacterium in relation with the sleep physiology. So if I have to use only the next generation sequencing or something else, we can also.
Okay, I can tell you. I can tell you the strategy. Okay. Recently, a group got the gut microbiome of autism kit. A kit is autistic. Okay, they got the gut material, of autistic kit. They purify all the bacteria. Okay, just they got all the microbe, not bacteria, all the microbe they got. Similarly, they got normal people gut microbes also they obtained. Then both cases they sequenced it. Okay, so normal gut microbe also sequenced, and gut microbes of autistic kit also sequenced.
Okay.
They saw the difference. They found out some population of bacteria is predominant in autistic kits gut. They found out there some chemical, are missing. Normal gut, the bacterium, the microbe are producing valeric acid. I remember, but in the case of autistic gut microbiome, couldn't produce the valeric acid. So without those chemical, our neuron is affected. The absence of the chemical, the neuron is affected. Okay, so the flow of experiment. This paper was published in Cell. So one among the top journal in biological research. See the flow of work to next generation sequencing, then analysis of the sequences, then analysis of analysis of the metabolite. What are the metabolites are that in the gut microbe of both cases? Then they saw the difference. Then they found out the missing chemicals. Then they artificially they introduced the chemicals to autistic case. Slightly they saw the improvement. The autistic behavior somehow is compromised. Okay, so likewise, slowly, the entire manuscript was designed. So for required questions, to required problem, suitable experiment should be introduced. That's a point I want to say you. Okay, nobody is going to see, in a paper, nobody are going to see what are the techniques they have. But all the papers, in all the papers, reviewer want to see what did you find out. Okay, that's what my point. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the information. I understood the point as well.
Yeah, thank you. Any other question, please? Any question? Don't hesitate. Sometimes I feel, questions are more important, not the answer. No question is stupid question. Answer may be stupid, but question, is very valuable to enrich your strength, especially research scholars. You should be very active in raising questions.
Sir, there is one question shared in the chat box. Rajesh Kumar asked, sir, please coordinate and compare it with international level. Rajesh Kumar, are you there? You can open up.
Sir, if not, you can read it.
Yeah, he mentioned, sir, please coordinate and compare it with the international level. So what he wanted to know. Rajesh Kumar, are you there?
If publication case, I can tell you. So my understanding, the research you want to bring to international standard, what to do? That's the question, right? Ramanan sir?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So if you publish a paper in a SCA journal, already you are in international standard. Can you understand? If you publish a manuscript in a SCA journal, already you are in international standard. Okay, so here, no local standard and international standard. If you can publish your article in SCA journal, already you are in international standard. That I think that's enough, good enough from my side. I think you can understand now. Any other question? I can tell you one more thing. We identify a insect virus. Actually, the virus was first found out in Manipur state. So Manipur state, professor, he got that virus from a field, agriculture field, a dead larva he found, and sent the dead larva to me, to my laboratory. So I purified the virus from Manonmaniam Sundaranar University. Then at that time, I don't have sequencing machine. So I got the help from Madurai Kamaraj University. My colleague is there. He has a machine. So I gave the sample to Madurai Kamaraj University. There the genome was sequenced. At that time, we don't have the electron microscope. It's not working in our university. So I gave the viral sample to Kalasalingam University. That's in Tamilnadu. That's in Sivasubramanian, Tamilnadu. So there, the virus was photographed using electron microscope. So virus was found out in Manipur, was purified, and DNA was extracted in Manonmaniam Sundaranar University, was sequenced in Madurai Kamaraj University. Genome, the viral morphology was documented in Kalasalingam University. We all joined together and we published the virus. So collaboration is the key. If I wanted to everything, every step, if I want to do myself, impossible. It may be, I may fail. So here, connecting with right people, is much important. See here, this meeting is possible. Ramanathan is in Singapore. Dr. Ramanathan in Singapore. Rajesh is in Tamil Nadu right now. Okay. And I am in Madurai Kamaraj, I am in Manonmaniam Sundaranar University, Tirunelveli. We all in different area. You are in different area. The collaboration make the meeting successful. So, with many people, you have to connect. Productively, you have to work to improve your standard, and then you can become successful. Any more question?
Sir, I will add certain thing.
Yeah,
as
sure.
per the scenario for currently available with the global opportunity, they need quality as well as the qualified candidate. You have already narrated very well about all aspects of research career, as well as the faculty who can able to consider the factors and the features which are very, very important for molding up a student and creating a value added research opportunity, as well as the publications. So we have to consider all these putting together, so we can able to create the qualified and quality oriented future workforce, whether they can go for research or they wanted to go for teaching, but it is the time they have to think global and moving for the quality of global expectations. So it is the point, just it is putting up in their mind all these learners, whether they are faculty or whether they are student community, but it is the way they have to groom their skills. They have to bring up certain kind of knowledge as well as the behavior, the attitude.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. One thing I didn't tell you. Research scholars, please listen. Country like Japan, South Korea, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and also Germany, they have different exchange program. Okay, everybody about the US, but competition is very high. But other countries like Sweden, Finland, Norway, and Germany, Japan, South Korea, so many opportunities are there for exchange program. And if you approach, suitable professors, then there is a chance by their money you can travel and you can have exposure in foreign laboratories. That also possible. So write a letter saying that I'm doing research. Give me an opportunity to work in your laboratory to improve my standard of research. See here the point. Give me an opportunity. I can work with you. I can improve my standard of research. So they love it. Okay, if they have fund, they will help you. Okay, with their money you can travel. You can stay there. You can work sometime. So far in my laboratory, several students enjoyed this opportunity. They traveled US, they traveled European countries and Japan. Simply, the scholars should try. Send a letter, send an email, request professors. There is a possibility you can fly and you can improve your standard. Sir, I think that's enough, right?
Yeah, that is fine. Yeah, they can try for some kind of internship opportunity.
Yes.
During their master's degree or PhD career That time it is wonderful for them, whether they can find out some collaborators in abroad suitable for their research as well as their training or any kind of futuristic collaboration or getting the postdoc question as well.
Yes. So thank you, Dr. Ramanathan and Rajesh. So I enjoyed the last 1 hour, and thank you for the opportunity. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, very wonderful, sir. You have set the milestone for us.
Yeah, so you are doing great service for young minds. Kindly continue the service, to improve the quality of our young minds. Definitely, it's a great service. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Can I leave?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. I have a travel, I have to go to
so today
Coimbatore tomorrow.
Session, and tomorrow we can
tonight I have to get the train, so I'm leaving now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Bye. Bye.
So, Dr. Rajesh, we can conclude this session today. Thank you all for joining, and hopefully it is meeting out with your expectation, and we can have the session on tomorrow. The time may be as usual in 7 p.m. or any change or something he will put up in the WhatsApp group. Thank you so much for getting in today.